all got your annual reports in front of you, and you'll see we have a couple of new things in there. One is this year we have a list of our 30-year members. So some people have been with the association this long, and I don't know if you can remember that far back, but that was when it all began, and people were very keen on two issues. One was public protection, and the other was getting counseling out there and really promoting it as a profession. And I think we've done pretty well considering that we have not been legislated. We've been working within the Society Act, and I don't know that it's necessarily appreciated, the regulatory part, by the members necessarily, but I can report that we resolved most of our complaints by consent order. So, and part of that is that we have regulatory committees that are extremely hardworking. So the first committee I'll talk about is inquiry. And anybody who works on the inquiry committee can tell you that it's a lot of work, it's a lot of reading, it's been a lot of education for people, and it's very, very fulfilling in many different ways. That committee is supported quite heavily by the work of our amazing Deputy Registrar, John Gothrop, who's also quite a wordsmith. We call him John Wordsmith, or Jake sometimes, and also by Donna Nee, who can't be with us today. She's off at some family events. The BCACC membership has often wondered why we don't do enough to provide support to our members who are going through something that can be as stressful as a complaint. And we haven't been able to do it because of the conflict of interest that it puts us in if we're on the one hand providing support and advice to somebody, and on the other hand investigating and providing discipline. So John and Donna and I were able to watch a webinar last year that talked about a program that was going on with the British physicians and surgeons. And what had happened was they noticed that there was a high incidence of physician suicide when physicians were under complaint. And some of what would happen is kind of the same as what happens with our members. Physicians would be asked to do things like step back from their practices until complaints were resolved. They were out of their normal community. And so what they did is they instigated the actual regulatory body decided to do an emotional support program for those physicians. So they set funds aside that could be used solely for that. So we were quite excited and went to the executive director, who immediately embraced the idea. And so by the end of 2018, we were ready to roll with it. And so this is the first year this pilot program is in place. And I'll be able to report back to you next year, anybody who took it up. So this now goes out with the notice of complaint to members, just saying that if you're interested in this emotional support program, here's how you can sign up for it, and we'll move forward with it. The other group that's a hardworking group is the registration committee, and you'll notice that our numbers are up. They go up each year in spite of the fact that people are retiring and dying, and so we ended up the year with 4,196 members, which is huge because when I started we had 350. And every time this organization grows, leaps and bounds, it becomes a completely new creature. Different kinds of management things are required, different ways of working with committees and groups and information. And the playing field has changed quite significantly too as we go along. We're going through some governance changes ourselves here at head office, and we'll be reporting back about that next year. But by and large, I think the regulatory side has had a very good year. 2018 was the first year that we sent a complaint to the conduct review panel, and that's still ongoing, and we wait to hear back from them sometime in 2019 about the outcome of that. What else did I want to say? I think that's about it. I want to say thank you to our staff, to our executive director, to our president, Joan. It's like gratitude day, right? Everybody, thank you all for all that you do to make our work easier, to participate in the way that you do, to be helpful, to be open, and to also be ready to make changes when when we have to make changes, and often that feels like it's weekly, and we're quite responsive. So just, people will ask, how do you decide what you're going to do? How do you figure out, what's the right thing to do and when? And so I found this quote from John Stewart, and he said, just the kind of questions that we consider. So the quote is, so how do you know what is the right path to choose to get you the result that you desire? And the honest answer is, you don't. So that, we put ourselves behind it as much as we can. We look at the odds, we get on the path, and for the most part, the results that we have are very good. So, thank you.